Hey guys, thanks for joining me for another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video, and we are doing a special request video. I probably should have just done this to begin with, because of course people are going to want to know what to do with the Light of Hope exchange item. That is a unique new item that came to DFFOO. So yeah, this video is going to be about this new unique item that you can trade in, and what should you get with it, and maybe my recommendations. I'm going to start off with talking about how to get this item. Now keep in mind, somebody in my Discord asked, where can I farm these? Well, I don't think these are going to be farmable because this is a very good shop. So just to summarize what's in here, there are a bunch of LD weapons and then some very exclusive items at the bottom. So before we get into that though, let me just tell you guys where you get this item. As far as I'm aware, you're only going to get one of these. I don't know if they're going to release more of them, but right now my assumption is it's one and done, so choose wisely what you want, and that's maybe what this video is for. So in terms of how to obtain this item, this is from the Chocoboard panel mission. So I'm going to go into the missions tab here. Now if you're watching this video like way after, it might not be available, but like as of the time I'm recording this, which is on what is today, January 13th 2023, they are available. Okay, so what you want to do is you go into the panel missions here, and then there is one for let's see, it is this guy right here. So this is the story support campaign Chocobo mission board. So there's 10 days left on it. So this thing should be available up to like January 23rd, January 24th, in that range, right? And you can see the bottom right node for clear. So it's like right here. I'll kind of click on it. This bottom right node right here, clear Act 3 Finale Part 2. So basically you have to complete all of the story mode and complete Act 3 Finale Part 2. And you get that. That's basically like that really tedious Cloud of Darkness fight, but you don't actually have to do the Shinryu fight to get this. If you just clear and like read the final ghost story or whatever, you'll get this. So this item is called what, a Light of Hope item, and so this is the only one that's currently in the game. Now they could release more, but I don't know that they will, based on how good this shop is, right? So if somebody in the comments knows more and you know if we're getting more, feel free, because this could be something that was on JP. I don't look super close at JP, so if this was out in JP and they got more, somebody in the comments can let us know. But as of right now, I'm treating this like you get one, so let's make it count, right? So let's go into the exchange. And it's not every LD in the game, but there's a lot. This is a pretty big spread of LDs that they give you in here, right? And then at the bottom that we have two items. The way I'm going to kind of treat this is I'm going to treat this as I'm going to do a little explanation of like what I think the best LDs are to grab, and then what I think the best items are to grab. Now, from my perspective, like I'm a veteran player, so it was very easy for me because I went through and I already had everything maxed out for all the LDs. So depending on how new your box is, but I think my overall recommendation is that you pick one of the two items and actually not get the LD, unless there's somebody you really, really want. But I'm going to talk about it. You decide for yourself if you'd rather have the item or the LD. So if you're, let's say you've decided you're going to pick an item, you're not going to get an LD. Do you choose the Ultima Providence core, or do you choose the 4-stone ×3? I will tell you what I personally did, and what I would recommend is actually taking the 4 stones. The reason why I'm going to recommend the 4 stones is these are actually quite an improvement for characters. It's going to help you get your force gauge higher. For force charging characters, it actually helps them charge very, very quickly. It increases your stats when you're in that 80% force threshold. It does a lot, right? Having force enhanced 30. And to have more of your character's force enhanced 30, I think is a good thing. And here's the thing. There's literally like 140 or 150 something characters that can go force enhanced 30. So this is literally allowing you to just have an extra character in your box be force enhanced 30, which is very valuable. Now the 50 Ultima cores, that is going to net you your first purchase of an Ultima weapon, but to supplement a weapon, it's like 150. And you need 800 total cores to max out an Ultima weapon. The Providence cores definitely aren't a bad choice, but the reason why I like the 4 stones more, the 4 stones are going to have a lot more usability, and you're going to need 4 stones for a longer period of time in the game. Eventually, the use for Providence cores are going to run out, because eventually, it's going to take a long time depending on if you're a Moogle Pass buyer or not. But there's going to be a point in the game where you just don't need Ultima cores anymore. You're going to have every Ultima weapon maxed out, and at some point, you're going to be buying dupes of them just to have more. But the thing is Ultima cores aren't 100% necessary for any character. By this point in the game, if you've been playing since Ultima weapons have been released, I would say even a free-to-play player is going to have 2 to 3 fully maxed out ones. I've got 6 maxed out ones right now, I think. 6 is where I'm at. But I've been a premium Moogle Pass member, and I've gotten every Ultima Core or Providence Core in the game, right? So especially from my standpoint, I'm at the point where I'm considering, like, do I do Thrown Weapon next? Do I do Bow next? Like, very not popular weapons, because I've got a copy of all the main weapons done. And the thing with Ultima weapons, you don't need as many of them because you can just pull them out, share with your characters as needed, right? So for example, like Onion Knight just dropped, right? And a lot of you probably already have a maxed out Ultima Sword that maybe you got it for Vaughn or somebody else or Ramza or whatever. So that Ultima weapon sitting there, well, let's say you want to do a run with Onion Knight, you can just slap that Ultima weapon on him, use him for the Shinryu fight, and then give it back to Vaughn. It's a very tradable, easy to use resource. Now, I can't take, say, Vaughn's Force Enhanced 30. I can't borrow that to Onion Knight for a fight and then give it back to Vaughn. It's non-transferable, right? So the Force Stones to me are just, like I said, there's more characters that need them. You're going to get more use out of it. The other thing I kind of like about it is just as a package, I can fully max out a Force Enhanced character with just this one purchase. This Ultimate Core is just going to give you a 0 out of 5 supplement weapon, which isn't that much stronger than like a maxed out BT anyways. It does a little bit, like it's still better, but really to get a full power of an Ultima weapon, you want to supplement 4 or 5 Ultima weapon to look really, really good. And this Providence Core pack, it's 50 out of 800 that you need to fully max one out. So you're just getting like a small percentage of what you need to fully max out an Ultima weapon. Whereas with the Force Stones, you're literally, bam, I can just pick an extra character in my box. So for me, for example, I think Edge is a very good unit for this current Shinryu fight, and I've been using Edge more, but he's a character I initially just did Force Enhanced 10 on. I said, I'm going to pick this up, and I'm going to make my Edge Force Enhanced 30, who's a character I maybe would have sat on a little bit longer. Now, when I'm bringing Edge into that really hard Shinryu, he's helping with Force Charge a little bit more, he's doing a little bit more damage, and I can borrow him my Ultima Dagger that a different character is using and really make Edge look good for this fight. So I would say my number one overall pick out of everything in here is actually the 3 Force Stones. Like, totally, that's my recommendation. Now, let's say you're a newer player, you don't have a large box, you're like, I need an LD for a character. Here's the thing to keep in mind. The cool thing about this is you could pick a character who's totally not on a banner right now, and depending on your resources, you could make a usable version of that character. Because you could pick up their LD here with this token. Then if you have Power Stones, or Power Tokens, you could get the 15, the 35, and then if you have EX tokens, you can get the EX. So if you're a player that has the EX, you might want to target a character that you really like that just is nowhere to be seen right now on banners, maybe a character you just missed that you think is really good, right? When I look through this, there isn't like one character that's like, oh my god, they're a must-have character. Because like, even if you look at a character like Vaughn, who is definitely considered to be one of the better DPS characters in the game, well, you're talking about Vaughn with like maybe the BT and maybe his own FR where he can look good. You're not going to get that here. It's literally just getting the LD. So when you're choosing your LD character, you got to think of who's a character that's going to be good LD only. There could be people that are in a position where maybe you got a lucky free summon and you maybe got Vaughn's BT but didn't pull on the banner, didn't pull the rest of his kit. That could be good incentive to go back and grab the LD, right? So this is one of those situations where I can't just say, and I think that's the other reason I like just taking the Force Stones. That's something that's going to be good for everybody no matter what. I feel like the characters are too contingent on your box and your situation for me to advise anybody to pull a specific character. Now, for those of you looking for characters, I will go through here really quick, give some advice on characters that I think are better, but this is going to be advice based on who's good like right now, okay? Keep that in mind. And what I would say is if you are intent that you want a character and you don't want the items, then you can hit me up in the comments. You can join my Discord. There's a lot of DFFOO content creators actually that started joining my Discord. So not only advice from me, but you might see like Cross13, Blind Eye, Mark from the TCC podcast, Mino I think is in there, Poto Cedar who's the intern for the podcast. There's people in there that are also content creators that will give advice, and just other like very knowledgeable players, right? So if you want to hop into my Discord, it's in the links of all my videos. Just check out the description. You can get some advice. But let's talk about the characters. So characters that jump out to me. So Warrior of Light isn't crazy right now, but I think Warrior of Light has an FR coming soon. and he is one of the better tanks in the game's history. So if you want a very good tank, I think Warrior of Light could be a decent option for you. But the thing is he's going to drop with the FR, and you would maybe pull the LD then anyways. So I even then I can't really say, because Warrior of Light isn't a character I would use really right now that much, to be honest. He can put up some shields, he can do some things, but he I kind of want him to get that FR and that rework before I'm really going to use him, and you might just pull him anyways. Now Furion is a very relevant character like right now, and I think LD only Furion could be a really good pickup. What I'm going to say is if you're someone that invested in Maria's FR and you don't have Furion, he could be an excellent sneaky pickup for you, because an LD only Furion is going to get his off-turn heals that can trigger Maria's FR. So I think if you're a Maria player, I think Furion could be a very good pickup. Onion Knight's on banners right now. If you want him, you might as well pull for him. I don't think I would recommend him. Paladin Cecil's fallen on hard times. Theodore, I don't know that he would be a top recommendation. Bartz, you really need BT for him to be his best, so I don't know that I would recommend him. Terra's solid if you like, a damage dealer that can attack a bunch in a row, but she's been kind of power crept, so I don't know that I would recommend her. Cloud is definitely solid because he's got utility. The thing is Cloud is on like the beginner banner, so I know like tons of new players, they go in on that beginner player banner, so I think there's very few players that actually will need Cloud. And Cloud isn't like the craziest right now in the game. He does get better when he gets an FR, but I don't know that I would recommend Cloud a ton for like picking right this moment. Vincent, probably not right this second. I think Zach could be a decent pickup. Tanks are units that age well, right? So just like Warrior of Light, even though Zach, maybe it's been a little bit since he's had his latest upgrade, he's relevant. Like, you can use Zach. So Zach and Warrior of Light might be the two best you could pick right now, because even Warrior of Light, like, his shields still work. Like, he doesn't output a lot of damage, but boy do his shields work. So if you need a tank, Zach and Warrior of Light could be good pickups. I'm not a fan of Squall right now. Zidane's got some utility, but he's kind of a character you want the BT if you're really going to use him. Tidus can definitely put up some work. He's better with the BT, but if you're looking for like a straight up damage dealer out of this, Tidus and Vaughn might be your two best picks here. Vaughn does very, very good damage. Tidus does very good damage. So I think those two would be really good. Yuna is a solid support character. She just got her FR though. So like a lot of you maybe already picked her up if you wanted her. But if you need like a straight up support unit, I think Yuna is a good support unit. Shantoto's definitely a no. Lightning just got her rework, so she's pretty solid right now, and she does not need her BT to be good. Sarah, she's okay-ish. Ishtola, I still like her as a support, but I like her better with her full kit. She's aged a little bit, but yeah, Ishtola can put in some work. Noctis is solid. Ramza, I still like Ramza as a decent support unit. Ace is okay, but probably want to wait for his FR. Kieran, he's an okay support unit. Charlotta is really good, but she's a unit that I think her BT is a little bit more important to her, but Charlotta is definitely good for support. Yuri, Lael, Lon, and Rain, I definitely don't think I'll jump on any of those. So I'm going to give you just a quick little summary. So I'm going to do what are the best DPS picks, what are the best tanks, and what are the best support characters. So for tank, I think Zach is probably the best tank here. Like if I were like a brand new player and I didn't have any of these characters, and I said I want a tank, I'm going with Zach. Zach would be my tank choice, but I think Warrior of Light is solid as well. Now, if I'm coming in here as a new player and I want a DPS character, I think my pick for DPS, the top choices here, as sad as it is, I don't know that I would say Terra at this point. I think it's really Tidus and Vaughn. Lightning's good too. Lightning is just the thing with Lightning. And actually, Tidus is kind of like this too. The thing with Lightning and Tidus you have to be careful with is they're speedy characters that steal turns. So you just have to make sure you're using them with the proper force time where they want to attack a lot. I like Tidus a little better just because he does like the off-turn traps. They're not really traps, they're just the extra shot attacks, right? Lightning is a lot more like free turn poke damage where it's harder to take advantage of the force time. You're not putting up as big a numbers as you'd like. But just individually as characters, they're both very good offensive characters. But if you're looking more of like a character, let's say you got like Lilithset FR, like a very flexible one that anyone can use, out of the three, I would probably pick Vaughn, because Vaughn's got the biggest like nuke-like attacks for a force time. So I'm kind of talking myself through this as we go, but I think Vaughn would probably be my number one DPS pick. But I would say Tidus and Lightning, I think, are in the discussion. You could pick them. Now we have to look at support characters. We're talking like healing battery type characters out of this list. I am thinking either Yuna. Sarah's okay, but Ishtola's solid. I think we're looking at Yuna or Charlotta, to be honest. I would say you're picking between Yuna or Charlotta. If you like battery more, go Charlotta. If you like healing more, pick Yuna. And Yuna's got Isuna, which is really cool as well. So if you want, I think to me, it's kind of 50-50 between the two. Yuna or Charlotta. Yuna's got the slightly newer rework, so I'd say she's maybe a little bit more relevant, and Charlotta does really want her BT. So I think I'm talking myself into Yuna actually being the number one support here. So I'm going to say Zach, tank, Yuna, support, and Vaughn, DPS. So if you're looking for an LD, those are going to be my recommendations. But once again, my overall recommendation is 3 Force Stones. So anyways, let me know what you think. Let me know what you picked. Let me know if you agree, disagree, whatever. If you want more specific advice based on your box, once again, join my Discord or hit me up in the comments. Thanks for watching. We'll catch y'all on the next one.